Chapter 8: A Joint Mission. The first light of dawn began to shimmer over the tranquil sea, casting a golden glow that pierced through the dark veil of night. The sea serpent floated gently in its secluded cove, the early rays of sunlight beginning to dissolve the shadows of the previous night. The once silent waters now reflected a soft, hopeful light, a stark contrast to the tension that had enveloped the ship only hours earlier. On deck, the remnants of Mara and Cale's intense discussions were scattered across the wooden surfaces, maps strewn about, scribbled notes piled haphazardly, and half-empty cups of coffee that hinted at long hours of strategizing. The scene was a testament to their tireless efforts and the gravity of their mission. The chaotic arrangement of their materials spoke volumes about the urgency and complexity of the task they faced. The uneasy alliance forged between the pirate captain and the mermaid prince had solidified into a shared purpose as the sun rose higher. Mara's resolute gaze and Cale's determined demeanor now reflected a newfound sense of unity, bound by their common goal. The weight of the prophecy and the threat of the assassination plot had transformed their mutual suspicion into a focused collaboration. As the last vestiges of night gave way to day, the sea serpent began to stir with the activity of the crew preparing for their joint mission. The early light illuminated the ship's dark sails and glinted off the edges of the scattered papers, symbolizing the beginning of their new endeavor. Both Mara and Cale, despite their different worlds, were driven by the same resolve, to uncover the truth and safeguard their respective realms. With the dawn's promise of a new day, the ship readied itself for the journey ahead. The morning light not only brightened the sea but also heralded a fresh chapter in their alliance. As they set their sights on the horizon, the sea serpent symbolized more than just a vessel. It was the embodiment of their combined effort to thwart the impending threat and secure a future for both Eldoria and Atlantia. Mara and Cale stood at the rail of the ship, their figures etched against the backdrop of the soft morning light. The first rays of dawn painted their faces in a gentle glow, highlighting the traces of fatigue and determination that marked their features. The air around them was cool and crisp, carrying with it the faint, invigorating scent of salt and seaweed, a reminder of the vast expanse that lay before them. The previously palpable tension between them had begun to ebb away, replaced by a burgeoning sense of camaraderie. The night's intense discussions had forged a bond between the pirate captain and the mermaid prince, transforming their reluctant partnership into a resolute collaboration. As they stood side by side, their shared purpose seemed to bridge the gap between their disparate worlds. Mara's sharp eyes were fixed on the horizon, her gaze steady and unwavering. The early light glinted off her features, revealing a new layer of resolve that had emerged through the shared trials of the night. Her readiness to face the challenges ahead was evident in the way she scanned the distant waters, her posture a blend of alertness and determination. Beside her, Cale's regal posture and azure scales caught the delicate morning light, their iridescent hues shimmering with each subtle movement. His presence was marked by a quiet strength, his commitment to the mission as unyielding as the ocean itself. The contrast between his aquatic grace and Mara's grounded demeanor created a striking tableau, symbolizing the union of their efforts. The once divided goals of their respective kingdoms now aligned under the shared weight of their mission. The sun's ascent seemed to underscore the importance of their collaboration, casting a warm glow over the ship and highlighting the unity that had emerged from their earlier discord. The sea serpent cut through the water with renewed purpose, its dark sails billowing softly in the morning breeze. As the ship continued its journey, the early light revealed a new chapter in their alliance. The horizon ahead was both a promise and a challenge, and both Mara and Cale were prepared to confront whatever lay beyond. Their combined strength and determination now fueled their quest, turning the ship into a beacon of their unified resolve. In this tranquil moment, amidst the soft murmur of the waves and the distant cry of seabirds, the foundations of their partnership solidified. The bond between the pirate captain and the mermaid prince had transformed from mere necessity into a genuine alliance, their shared purpose guiding them through the early hours of their journey. The calm sea reflected the newfound harmony that had emerged between them. As they stood together, the morning light continued to grow, illuminating their path forward. The sea serpent moved steadily through the water, a symbol of their commitment and the promise of their combined strength. The journey ahead was fraught with uncertainty, but for the first time, the partnership between Mara and Cale felt like a true alliance, ready to face the challenges of their intertwined fates. Today we begin unraveling the conspiracy that threatens both our kingdoms, Mara said, her voice steady and authoritative as she addressed Cale. The early morning light cast a soft glow on her determined face, highlighting the resolve in her eyes. She glanced at Cale, whose expression was serious but carried a glimmer of hope, reflecting his readiness to tackle the task ahead. Cale nodded in agreement, his azure scales shimmering slightly in the light as he acknowledged her words. The weight of their mission was evident in his posture, a blend of regal composure and palpable tension. "Indeed," he replied, his voice calm yet firm. "We must sift through the leads and intel we've gathered with meticulous care. Finding concrete evidence of the plot is our first priority." Mara's gaze shifted to the array of maps and documents spread out before them on the deck. The papers, now illuminated by the morning sun, were a testament to the depth of their investigation. She continued, "We'll need to identify the key players behind this conspiracy and understand their motivations. Every detail counts, and our combined resources will be crucial." Cale's eyes followed Mara's gaze, taking in the scattered notes and detailed plans. He added, "The sooner we uncover the truth, the better our chances of averting the disaster the prophecy foretells. This mission requires both our skills and our trust in each other. We must act swiftly and decisively." With a final nod, Mara turned her attention back to the task at hand. The cool morning breeze stirred the ship's sails, a silent witness to their resolve. "Let's begin," she said, her voice carrying the weight of their shared determination. The sea serpent was set on a course toward uncovering the truth, and the alliance between Mara and Cale was now focused on the daunting challenge ahead. Cale responded with a calm assurance that belied the gravity of their situation. His gaze remained steady as he spoke, his voice calm yet carrying an undercurrent of urgency. "We must be thorough and discreet," he said, his tone unwavering despite the weight of their task. The morning light danced on his azure scales, casting an ethereal glow that seemed almost out of place against the backdrop of their tense mission. Mara, listening intently, took in the seriousness of Cale's words. The early sun illuminated the deck, revealing the scattered maps and documents they had reviewed throughout the night. Her eyes met Cale's, reflecting a shared understanding of the stakes involved. The sea breeze rustled her hair and flooded the edges of their papers, adding a sense of motion to their conversation. "The prophecy has warned us of deception and danger lurking in every corner," Cale continued, his voice carrying the weight of his resolve. His posture remained rigid, the confidence in his demeanor belying the complexity of their mission. The shimmering water around the sea serpent seemed almost tranquil in comparison to the turbulent situation they faced. Mara nodded, her expression set with determination. "Agreed. We need to ensure that our every move is calculated and that we're prepared for any eventuality." Her gaze was sharp, and she picked up a map from the deck, studying the intricate details with practiced focus. The alliance between them was now centered on a meticulous plan, driven by the urgency of their shared goal. Cale's eyes remained locked on Mara's, reflecting the seriousness of their joint effort. "Our combined efforts must be flawless," he said. "The deception we face could come from anywhere, and our ability to navigate through it depends on our attention to detail and our readiness for any challenges that arise." As they spoke, the deck of the Sea Serpent seemed to pulse with their shared determination. The ship rocked gently with the movements of the sea, a silent witness to the gravity of their mission. The early morning light began to warm the deck, casting long shadows that seemed to mirror the intricate plans they were setting in motion. With a final nod, Cale and Mara turned their attention to their preparations. The mission ahead would test their resolve and their ability to work together despite their initial tensions. "Let's move forward," Cale said firmly, his voice carrying a note of finality. The Sea Serpent was ready to sail into uncharted waters, with its crew and passengers bound by a common purpose and an unspoken understanding of the challenges to come. The two leaders then turned to their respective crews and allies, each group readying themselves for the intricate mission that lay ahead. The early morning light glistened on the sea, casting a golden hue over the bustling deck of the Sea Serpent. Mara's crew, a seasoned group of pirates with hardened faces and keen eyes, moved with practiced efficiency. Their years of experience on the high seas had honed their skills in gathering intelligence and scouting potential threats, making them a formidable asset in the search for the assassination plot's roots. Mara stood among them, her commanding presence rallying her crew. She issued instructions with a clear, authoritative tone, her voice carrying over the sound of creaking wood and murmured conversations. The pirates, accustomed to danger and secrecy, began to assemble their gear and review their maps, their expressions a mix of determination and excitement. Their task was clear: to delve into the complexities of the surface world and uncover any leads that might point to the conspiracy threatening both kingdoms. On the other side of the cove, beneath the shimmering surface of the ocean, Cale's elite guards and advisors gathered in the grand underwater palace of Atlantia. The palace, with its opalescent walls and bioluminescent flora, seemed to glow with an ethereal light as the sun's rays filtered through the water. The Mermaid Prince's guards, clad in armor that mirrored the hues of the sea, prepared for their own critical role in the mission. Their familiarity with Atlantia's depths and its hidden passageways would be crucial in investigating the underwater aspects of the plot. Cale's advisors, experts in Atlantean politics and underwater geography, conferred in low, urgent tones. Maps and scrolls were spread across large coral tables, their intricate details reflecting the soft, ambient light. The advisors' faces were etched with concern as they discussed strategies and potential threats, their deep knowledge of Atlantia's secrets and its political landscape a key component in their investigation. As both groups prepared, the tension of their shared mission created a palpable sense of urgency. Mara's crew made their final checks, ensuring they had all the necessary tools and provisions for their reconnaissance. The pirates' agile movements and sharp eyes were a testament to their readiness for the dangerous tasks ahead. Their camaraderie and trust in Mara's leadership were evident as they finalized their plans. In the underwater palace, Cale and his guards undertook similar preparations. The elite guards adjusted their weapons and gear, ready to navigate the treacherous underwater terrain. Their expressions were resolute, reflecting their commitment to protecting Atlantia and uncovering the truth behind the plot. The advisors continued to pore over their documents, ensuring no detail was overlooked in their search for clues. As the final preparations were completed, the two leaders reconvened to brief their teams on the joint mission. The Sea Serpent bobbed gently in the cove, its crew ready to embark on their perilous journey, while Cale's guards and advisors readied themselves for their underwater exploration. The weight of their responsibility was heavy, but the shared goal provided a sense of unity and purpose. With the sun climbing higher in the sky, casting its light over the sea and the shimmering waters of Atlantia, the two groups set out on their respective tasks. The mission had begun, and both Mara and Cale were acutely aware of the challenges that lay ahead. Their alliance, though forged under tense circumstances, was now their strongest asset in the quest to uncover and thwart the assassination plot threatening their realms. As the preparations continued, The atmosphere aboard the Sea Serpent buzzed with a blend of anticipation and focused energy. The deck, once a familiar stage for Mara's pirating endeavors, now thrummed with the urgent hum of their joint mission. The crew, accustomed to the unpredictable nature of their voyages, moved with practiced efficiency, their movements a dance of purpose as they readied themselves for the task ahead. Maps were unfurled, gear was checked, and last-minute adjustments were made with a sense of determined urgency. Mara, standing at the helm, exuded a commanding presence that anchored the crew's frenzied activity. Her sharp eyes were constantly assessing the situation, ensuring that every detail was attended to. Despite the novelty of the alliance with Prince Kael and his elite guards, Mara's confidence and leadership inspired her crew. They adapted quickly to the new dynamic, their initial skepticism giving way to a focused determination as they embraced the challenge. Below the deck, Kael's guards, though initially wary of their surface counterparts, were beginning to forge a sense of mutual respect. The mermaid guards, who had been accustomed to the structured environment of Atlantia's underwater palace, found themselves navigating the rugged, weathered space of the Sea Serpent. Their finely crafted armor and disciplined demeanor contrasted sharply with the pirates' more casual attire, but there was a growing recognition of each other's strengths. The interaction between the two groups was a study in contrasts. Kael's guards, with their ethereal, water-slick scales and meticulous precision, worked alongside Mara's crew, who moved with the easy familiarity of seasoned sailors. Conversations, initially stilted and cautious, gradually became more collaborative. The blending of their skills and resources began to show promise, as strategies were exchanged and plans were refined. Despite the differences in their backgrounds, there was a shared understanding of the mission's gravity. Mara's crew admired the mermaid guards' discipline and strategic acumen, while Kael's guards came to appreciate the pirates' adaptability and resourcefulness. This newfound respect was evident in the way they collaborated, exchanging insights and pooling their expertise to strengthen their collective efforts. As the day progressed, the sense of unity between the two groups solidified. The Sea Serpent was now a hive of coordinated activity, with the crew and guards working side by side. The ship's deck was alive with the sounds of preparation, ropes being coiled, provisions being stowed, and equipment being tested. The once separate worlds of surface piracy and underwater nobility were starting to merge into a single, focused team. With the final touches completed and the sun setting over the horizon, casting a warm glow over the ocean, the Sea Serpent prepared to set sail. The combined efforts of Mara's crew and Kael's guards promised to make their joint mission more effective. The atmosphere was charged with a sense of accomplishment and readiness as the ship weighed anchor and began its journey into the unknown. The alliance, though forged under tense circumstances, was now a testament to their shared commitment to uncovering and thwarting the assassination plot threatening their realms. By midday, the Sea Serpent was a vision of readiness, its black sails unfurled like dark wings ready to catch the wind. The ship's deck was bustling with activity as the crew moved with practiced efficiency, their preparations a blend of nautical expertise and focused urgency. Ropes were secured, supplies were checked, and the final adjustments were made in anticipation of the journey ahead. The once chaotic energy of the ship now hummed with a sense of purpose, reflecting the gravity of the mission at hand. At the edge of the dock, Kael stood with a solemn expression, his gaze sweeping over the glittering expanse of Atlantia. The underwater kingdom sparkled in the midday sun, its beauty a stark contrast to the weight of the task that lay before him. The mermaid prince's scales shimmered in the sunlight, a regal presence amid the bustling preparations. As he took one last look at his home, the grandeur of Atlantia seemed to blur with the resolve in his eyes. The journey ahead promised to be fraught with challenges, each wave and current a potential obstacle in their path. Kael's thoughts were a whirl of strategy and concern, aware that the stakes were too high for hesitation. The uneasy alliance he had forged with Captain Mara Hawke, while born out of necessity, had become a vital component in their quest to uncover and thwart the assassination plot threatening both their realms. The urgency of their mission overshadowed the personal reservations that lingered from their initial confrontation. As Chaol boarded the Sea Serpent, the transition from the serene beauty of Atlantia to the rugged reality of the ship was palpable. The transition from the elegance of his underwater palace to the practical, weather-beaten environment of the pirate vessel was stark. Despite the differences in their surroundings, Chaol's resolve remained unwavering. His purpose was clear: to protect Atlantia and ensure the safety of their allied kingdom, regardless of the personal discomforts or the challenges ahead. The final preparations were completed, and the time to depart had arrived. With a deep breath and a final glance at the horizon, Chaol took his place aboard the Sea Serpent. The ship's crew and Chaol's own guards exchanged nods of mutual respect, acknowledging the significance of their shared mission. As the ship began to pull away from the dock, the sound of creaking wood and the flutter of sails filled the air, signaling the start of a journey that would test their alliance and their resolve. As Mara and Chaol took their positions on the Sea Serpent, their shared determination was evident in their focused expressions and purposeful movements. The ship's deck, now a hub of coordinated activity, seemed to hum with the energy of their collective resolve. Mara, with her commanding presence and sharp eyes, surveyed her crew as they prepared for the voyage, while Chaol, his regal bearing unshaken, offered quiet instructions to his guards. Both leaders were acutely aware of the stakes involved, and their mutual commitment was the cornerstone of their alliance. The mission ahead was not just a test of tactical prowess. It was a complex challenge that demanded more than strategy alone. Trust and cooperation between Mara and Chaol were essential, as they navigated a treacherous path fraught with intrigue and danger. Their alliance, forged in the heat of urgency and necessity, would be tested by the hidden threats that lay ahead. The intricacies of their joint effort required them to set aside past grievances and focus on their shared goal. As the ship sailed into the vast expanse of the ocean, the enormity of their undertaking became increasingly clear. The horizon stretched out endlessly, a vast canvas of possibilities and perils. Mara and Chaol's eyes, though focused on the distant expanse, were keenly aware of the need to remain vigilant. The ocean, once a mere backdrop to their personal conflicts, now symbolized the unknown challenges they would face together. With their goals aligned and their resolve steadfast, Mara and Chaol moved in unison, each action a testament to their determination. The Sea Serpent cut through the water with purpose, its black sails billowing in the wind as it navigated toward its destination. Every creak of the ship and flutter of the sails echoed their commitment to the mission, a reminder of the journey they had embarked upon and the critical task that lay ahead. Their shared quest to prevent disaster and secure the futures of both Eldoria and Atlantia was more than a mere alliance. It was a profound partnership forged in the crucible of crisis. As they faced the daunting unknown, the combined strength of their resolve and resources became their greatest asset. The weight of the prophecy, the looming threat of the assassination plot, and the complex web of political intrigue all demanded that they rise above personal differences and work together. The vastness of the ocean around them was both a challenge and a symbol of their journey. The open sea represented the uncharted territory they were about to explore, a realm where danger and opportunity intertwined. Mara and Chaol's unity was crucial in navigating this complex landscape, and their shared determination was a beacon of hope amidst the uncertainty. As the Sea Serpent continued its voyage, the bond between Mara and Chaol grew stronger, solidified by their mutual purpose. The path ahead remained fraught with danger, but their commitment to each other and their shared mission provided a foundation of strength. Together, they set forth into the unknown, driven by the knowledge that their collaboration could make the difference between disaster and redemption for their realms.